Hi everyone, finally, wow, finally made it. My name is Shannon Gilmore. My head's a little bit cut off here. I'm doing the best that I can. This is my first live video and flying by the seat of my pants here, trying to get them running for you, the public. I am a Christian author. I am a Christian women's life coach, and I am a peer support mentor. I help you understand life's challenges by seeking inwardly, by also seeking non-denominational biblical guidance and scientific quantum facts, not theories, but facts. Today, I want to share with you a little bit about me and a little bit about this thing we call narcissism. Let me just pull back here. My head's cut off. I don't like seeing that. Oh well, whatever. Hi, whoever is joining in, thank you for joining in. Please use the chat room, as I would love to answer your questions, take your comments and suggestions, how I can make this channel better. If you've watched my videos, you notice that I'm a little bit long-winded, so let me know. Let me know what you think. Give me a critique, honest critique. It's fine. I can handle it. I can take it. Seriously, I can. I love the feedback. I enjoy your comments and your questions and suggestions. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me at Shannon Gilmore at protonmail.com. I guess I will post my email in the comment section. Protonmail.com. That's my email right there. So what I want to talk to you today about is about the topic of narcissism. I have written a book, as most of us have. I mean, it's only natural to write about what you know, and most of us who've been victimized by narcissists have written books, have written articles, have gotten into coaching each other and offering peer support for each other. But with me, I'm kind of unique because I've been an author before 2017. That's when my book, Narcissism, The Bad Boy Image, came out. I've been writing all my life, and I decided to publish my first book, 2008, when my father-in-law passed away. And then shortly after, a Christian friend committed suicide. So I decided I needed to write as a form of therapy. And so from 2008 until present day, I have 8 books in print. So I'm not new to writing, and I'm not new to crisis outreach either. So I've been a peer support counselor, gone through the training, through an ADAP course that was Alcoholics and Addiction in Alberta. It was a course in 1990 actually. And I just haven't stopped since. I love interacting with people. I love to help. I mean, I come from a childhood trauma background, and it's you, the public, that have helped me. So this is how I can give back. So when I wrote about narcissism, I really didn't know. I thought I knew it all. But I'm constantly growing, constantly learning. And those narcissists, they don't quit coming. Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. And that's the point. They are everywhere. It's an epidemic. And I just want to touch on, I'll probably make another video. I want to make another video about this, exactly about what we're going through now worldwide with this pandemic of what is called, this virus. We have to be very careful of what we say on YouTube. So I don't want to make this video about that, but I will say that even the so-called truth tellers, the people who are fear-mongering us into compliance with this virus, forcing us to do things basically give up our freedoms of speech, freedoms of thought, freedoms of what we can and cannot do, what we sovereignly decide what we want to do, that's being taken away from us. And why? Because narcissists are running the show. And so if you want to understand what's going on and why this fear mongering is so problematic, you're welcome to take a look at the videos that I have already on my YouTube channel. They're labeled under the title of Narcissism, How to Heal from Narcissistic Abuse, I think the channel title is called. And I've got brainwashing, infantile regression syndrome. I talk about the mother wound. I talk about that's a 3 or 4 part. I think I still have to upload the 5th part. But that taps into the energy, as science now shows us that we are energetic beings, and what the Bible calls spirit, science calls energy. And that energy we develop in the moon. We develop our own source of energy, our own spirit, but we're connected spiritually with our mothers in the womb, and that connection is through the heartbeat, but also through the umbilical cord, and that gets cut off. And so it's no wonder why many of us, most of us, all of us, are shifting through life trying to figure out how to resolve these abandonment issues, and we don't know that we have abandonment issues. We all are facing rejection issues, and we have no idea why. Well, that's why. Because I say this, because research shows that back in Victorian times, back in even Hebrew times, the umbilical cord was allowed to fall off the baby. It was not cut. So the umbilical cord was attached to the placenta, and so you had the baby come first, and then the placenta, or the afterbirth, was taken out of the body naturally. The mother birthed the afterbirth, and the midwife kept the umbilical cord attached, and the placenta, or the afterbirth, would be placed in a dish beside the baby, and this would accompany the mother and child wherever they went for, I think, anywhere from 2 to 4 days. It naturally, the umbilical cord naturally falls off the infant, and this is the reason why the placenta stayed with the mother and child, because the placenta has nutrients. It's full of nutrients that the baby needs, and it pumps nutrients through the umbilical cord. And so the baby was getting these 4 days after the baby was born. But nowadays, the umbilical cord is cut as soon as the baby is born. It's like the umbilical cord is cut, and it may not have any physical effects, but spiritually, we feel that. I'm wondering, maybe that's why we cry, because we feel that spiritual disconnect from our mothers. So that's just something to think about, and I talk about that in depth in one of the videos on narcissism, the mother wound. So tonight, I just want to share with you a course that I put together. It's like 12 to 15 other videos that are not exclusive, that you can't find publicly on the YouTube channel. They actually follow suit after you read my book, Narcissism, the Bad Boy Image. You can go through chapter, and each video accompanies the chapter in the book. So here's the introduction of this course, as it's designed to help bring attention and awareness to a growing toxic epidemic within society that has victimized men, women, and children from all over the world. Known as Narcissistic Personality Disorder, or NPD, this course endeavors to help educate individuals who have suffered or who are currently suffering from harmful effects of narcissistic abuse. This isn't just a course that I'm offering an outreach program. as, like I said, I utilize my peer support, mentorship, and life coaching and biblical insight to help all of us cope, manage, and heal from the debilitating effects of suicide, narcissism. I also have suicide workbooks, a workbook project that you can get involved with as well. So I've got lots on the go, but this is my baby right now, as it's important that we all understand the narcissistic abuse. No one is immune to narcissism, and narcissism can be both healthy and toxic. And this course will help elucidate the difference. And now I'm going into this video knowing that you probably researched the hell out of narcissism. And that's a good thing. However, there is nothing that beats experience. And we all need to collaborate together, because I know myself, when I researched, and this is what I was saying at the beginning of the video, I thought I knew all there was to know about narcissism when I wrote this book, and I was severely wrong. Every time I met a new narcissist that showed me narcissistic qualities I didn't experience yet, it disorientated me. It threw me off of my pedestal and my safe ground that I built for myself. And it was very heartbreaking. But now that I know more, we can do better, right? Once we know better, we can do better. So this course will allow the student or you to understand narcissism from both clinical and biblical assertions, as this educational course strives to serve as a healing objective to set you free from the injurious and terminal effects of narcissistic individual abuse. And yes, it can be terminal. The brainwashing can be terminal, the bitterness can be terminal, and also depression and suicide and anxiety can be terminal if you're not aware of it. This course follows chapter by chapter from the book entitled Narcissism, the Bad Boy Image, and I wrote it in 2017. And although this book was written for women, this book and study course is available to men and women as well, and children or people over age 18 or with parental consent. There is a lot of information available online, and although this book does not cover all the many forms of narcissism, this personality disorder does not discriminate between sexes, as narcissists can be both men and women. As we know, it stems from childhood. So, I am a Christian author, I am a life coach and a mentor, and I take our healing seriously. I'm not here to get a leg up in the world. This is my profession, but I'm here to help. I take this problem seriously, and I am not going to belittle, judge, dismiss what you're going through. I'm here to learn from you, as we're here to learn from each other. Your story is your story, and your story is valid, and you always will have a place to share your story and a place to heal in this group. So if you have questions, comments, or suggestions, please contact me at the following email address: capital S HANNONGILMOUR, that's all one word, at protonmail.com, and I have my email in the description of this live chat. So here's the course overview if you're just interested in understanding what this book, what these videos are all about. The objective of this course is to give you information based on biblical and clinical assertions that enable practical learning outcomes to promote awareness and healing from narcissism. This is not a bitch fest wherein I I allow and I encourage you to share your stories among the group or with me. However, this is not a forum to point the finger at the narcissist and lay blame and not take accountability for your own actions and your own trauma. This forum and this course helps you to take a look at yourself, because there's something that I learned in my own trauma is that, while I was traumatized as a kid and I carried the trauma as into my adulthood, I'm responsible for my actions now. Once you become aware, you are responsible for what you say, what you do, and how you act. And I realized that when we are traumatized, we act on emotion. We don't act rationally. So this is a healing place, a place to say it's okay. You did the best that you could with the information that you had, and you didn't know very much. We were hurting, but that does not give the narcissist the right to hurt us, as they are hurting as well. And we can feel compassion for them, but we're not here to put them above ourselves and pity them and feel sorry for them. We need to show ourselves compassion, and that's why we're here together. So using the book entitled Narcissism, the Bad Boy Image, you can find it online at Amazon.com and purchase your paperback copy, or you can go to Gumroad.com/LifeCoachShannon, and you can order your PDF copy for download. So whichever you prefer. So here I am just putting a link to the PDF copy. Okay, so Gumroad.com/LifeCoachShannon. And just scroll through and you will find your copy of the PDF format of Narcissism, the Bad Boy Image. Now, this book is broken up into two sections. First, I share with you the clinical section based on Sam Vankinen's perspective. I did alter his perspective a little bit. I added my understanding through my own experience of not just dealing with narcissism, but dealing with the human behavior from a peer support perspective. So the first half of the course will share psychological insights into the dynamics of NPD, Narcissistic Personality Disorder. I will share with you where it comes from, how it is managed, and how one can heal from the trauma of narcissistic abuse and victimization. And through this course, I think just now I'm going to say that we're going to do live video feeds as well, so that we can ask questions as we read chapters together. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to write those questions down. And at the end of the chapter, I think it would be best if we had a question and answer section. So the second half of this course will share biblical perspectives by delving deep into biblical history. Even though the Bible doesn't label narcissism as narcissism, there is a reason why we are seeing narcissism today. And this insight allows you to understand the spiritual aspects of this personality disorder, because that's where this disorder hits most. Yes, this disorder can abuse us physically, but this disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, is designed by the enemy to hit us, the victims, spiritually. So I'm sorry I'm looking at my screen. My camera is above my screen, right here, and I keep looking at my screen, so pardon me, I've got to get used to this camera. So by the end of this course, you will have acquired the ability to recognize NPD for what it is and utilize clear coping strategies to alleviate the trauma and abuse through proactive learning. You will be able to not only recognize a toxic individual, but also assess the toxic relationships you get into with. Let me say that again. You will be able to assess the relationship and make appropriate changes and put the needs of yourself first. By recognizing narcissism and learning how to avoid interaction with specific individuals, by discovering strategies on how to better define relationships, by establishing healthy boundaries through self-parenting, and I talk about that in the book, this allows you to live in a way that offers benefit through trusting yourself, trusting your instincts, trusting your abilities, trusting your knowledge, trusting your inner being. The benefits of learning about NPD enables you to retain and maintain control in your personal life so that you can live proactively and help create a better future for future generations also. So the instruction methods of this course is that I will use the Narcissism, the Bad Boy Image book. You can find it on Amazon.com, the paperback, or you can find it on www.gumroad.com/lifecoachshannon for your PDF copy, Now, again, along with each chapter is a series of videos of added insight that coincide with each of these chapters. And these videos are exclusive to this course. You won't find them anywhere else. So when you sign up, you will get a special link to grab a hold of those videos and you can go to town and watch them until your heart's content. Again, I do believe it's going to benefit us to also, as a group, to have live video discussions to help heal and answer questions as I delve scientifically into feral children, into the neurology of the brain, also the spiritual aspects of science that shares with us how we can actually tap into our spirituality and our faith quickly and seek answers and help from God in a way that is beneficial and that is pretty much immediate. So this course is self-paced directed, meaning that you work at your own pace. It is expected, however, that you follow through in your commitment by completing this course. The book used for this course, again, is available through private purchase or through Amazon. Now, this book is referenced, this book is a reference guide, okay? I'm not laying claim to any information. I've put in information from my own personal understanding, from clinical understanding, biblical assertions, and I've included what works for me. This is a guideline. Whatever works for you, whatever you can cherry pick from this book and use it, go for it. I'm all for your healing. If I'm wrong, well, point that out as well. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. There's no harm in being wrong. We're all here to learn together. So there is no evaluation or grading of this course. However, you are encouraged to email your questions and comments and suggestions during any time that you are completing this course, and you can personally interact with me to add further holistic problem-solving outcomes if you need, as I experience in dealing with suicide, depression, mental illness such as schizophrenia, anxiety disorders. So if you need a walkthrough, a talk-through, I'm here to help you and support you and help facilitate your healing as best as I can with the information that I have to give to you. So there is a disclaimer, and I'll read it right now. The information contained in this course, including each video, is for general information purposes only. The author, me, Shannon Gilmore, assumes no responsibility for errors or omissions in the contents of this service provided in this content. In no event shall information within this course or videos be liable for any special, direct, indirect, consequential, or incidental damages or any damages whatsoever, whether in an action of contract, negligent, or other sort, arising out of or in connection with the use of the service of the contents of the service. Shannon Gilmore reserves the right to make additions deletions and modifications to the contents of this course or videos at any time without prior notice. This information is for your personal self-help purposes only. Any advice or suggestions given, you are guided by your own risk with no liability to me, Shannon Gilmore. So, with that said, I'd like to help you go over just the contents of the book. I can whistle louder. Okay, so part 1 will be the introduction. And the extra content is the video introduction, of course, which is just the information outside of the book content. And I go into what is narcissism, which also has an extra video. And I go into diagnosing narcissism, common characteristics of narcissism, the complications of diagnosis. We're just going to leave that information out to keep you guessing. No. I don't want to give all my content away. I want to leave you curious enough that you'll inquire or you'll at least sign up and check this stuff out. So I share with you where narcissism comes from. It is complicated, and I do have videos on this YouTube channel that share with you my personal assessment of how a narcissist is made, as a narcissistic parent makes a codependent child, and a codependent child becomes a parent, and they make a narcissistic child, who in turn becomes a narcissistic parent. So, and there's lots of information already on wherever you get your information from, the various social media platforms. But also, on my channel, I've shared with you, most of my videos are done from a perspective of healing, where God shows up as I'm talking to you on the video, and I just get deeper insight. And these videos come from me really delving deep and trying to figure this out as I was going through the motions of the narcissistic trauma of being discarded and devalued and discarded. So, yeah, so check them out. I also share with you in a chapter, and I ask the question, can a narcissist change? The biblical assertions of the book are a narcissism redefined, as there is proper definition from the disciples in the New Testament of what narcissism is, the characteristics of it, and how we become victimized to narcissism. There are biblical origins of narcissism, and I talk about the serpent seed. Now, this is a controversial concept. However, I have studied the Bible, and I've studied it from the Hebrew perspective, the Hebrew language perspective, and taking in mind and taking the Bible back to the Hebrew language, we have a deeper meaning in the Genesis story. And the Genesis story is a little bit more adult than our Sunday school of faith of the enemy giving Eve an apple. I also discuss how we should respond to a narcissist. It does not do us any good to respond in an emotional way. There is a proper way to actually engage in conversation with the narcissist, and you can get your way with the narcissist. You don't have to manipulate and coerce. You do have to have your boundaries in place, though. I also share with you the symptoms of abuse, as we will cover Stockholm Syndrome and how rejection syndrome complex PTSD, um, and other modalities of abuse that come up. There's various triggers that we do not see, and we don't know that they're there. I share with you the biblical perspective of what it means to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I also share with you deep healing methods on how you can meditate through a bath, through shower, just listening to, waterfall, or listening to healing sounds, nature sounds, going for a walk in the park. I share with you how you can actually connect to yourself spiritually and connect yourself spiritually to God and gain insight and healing. I share with you how to heal from narcissistic abuse. There's sub-chapters from that in the book called From Streetlight to Limousine, Discovering Emotional Empowerment, Health and Healing Methods, and Discovering How to Trust Yourself. That is the number one reason why we get involved with the narcissist in the first place. We go into a relationship expecting certain things to take place and expecting people to be certain ways, but never do we take a look at ourselves, and somehow we end up handing over the trust that we should have for ourselves. We somehow hand that over to the narcissist. So again, there will be no evaluation of this course. There's no examination. You can progress through this course at your own pace, provided that I really do hope that you finish and follow through. I'm available to answer your questions, comments at any time. And there are questions in the book, and it is strongly advised that each of you work out these questions to discover answers that will deepen your soul's personal awareness. Now, this course is for you, to help heal you, and to help you become aware of not only the narcissist, but aware of yourself. This course is not to belittle or cause division among any healing community or within the community of narcissistic individuals. Those who suffer from narcissistic personality disorder are victims too, and they deserve to find help just as much as everyone else. But will they? Well, that's on them. Their help is available to them. It's their choice, whether they want to or not, to seek out that help. This course is to encourage you, your personal healing through personal self-help practicums that lend you to understanding. This course may not be copied or used outside of this online website through videos unless directed by the course creator. So, as your course instructor, as your life coach, as your peer support mentor, I provide this for you. This is my promise, that I endeavor to provide an inclusive learning environment for you. If you experience barriers to learning in this course, do not hesitate to discuss those barriers with me. We can work this out together. And once you sign up for this course, you will have my personal phone number. It is a Canadian phone number, but we can talk through WhatsApp or Telegram. And I will, as you have my personal email, so you can ask me questions, comments, suggestions, anytime, day or night. So with that said, that's the course in a nutshell. And I created this for you, for us, to help us get along better with the narcissist, but also to help heal us so we can get along better with ourselves and tap into our spirituality. Because I've got some really interesting insights that I would like to share with you in the way of physically share with you. Because as I tap into my own spirituality and I grow and understand the science behind who we are as what science calls energetic beings, I'm learning some fascinating detail of the spiritual, of the kingdom power of heaven, and it's amazing. And not being able to trust ourselves, once we trust ourselves, to trust God as well, the possibilities are limitless. And I'm excited to share that with you. I'm excited to go the distance together with you. So I'm waiting for you. I don't want to do this alone. I want us to enjoy the benefits of tapping into kingdom power and our heavenly inheritance together as brothers and sisters in the Lord. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I'll probably make more live stream as the week progresses. This was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to talking about narcissism, talking about God. You can find me on Patreon. Okay, I'll type in my Patreon. It's a biblical content. Okay, so www.patreon.com/Bible study with. And there I have a book that I wrote, and you can find it on paperback at Amazon. It's entitled A Study in His Word. But if you click on Patreon Bible Study with Shannon, you can actually download your free copy that's over 200 pages long. It's PDF format. You can print it out and you can read it in PDF format on your computer. You just have to download it. You can read it and journey through the Bible with me and ask me questions. And we can have live streaming and question and answers. We can go through the Bible together and have our own live Bible studies together. We don't need a church. We are the church. So we're here to help heal each other and help encourage one another and learn from one another. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and be encouraged. I love you. Be blessed.